Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, November 10. If you are watching live on Monday, November 10, we encourage you to call in if you have comments or questions. Our call-in number is 769-1877. As always, you can watch us live on Verizon or Cablevision Cable TV, and you can watch us live at pctv76.org. Within a couple of days, you can pick up an on-demand webcast of all of our meetings as well at pctv76.org. Our next work session is a week from today, Monday, November 17 at 6 p.m. To discuss long-term goals and planning initiatives. And our next regular meeting is 2 weeks from tonight, Monday, November 24 at 8 p.m. That, among other things, is our annual Youth Recognition Night, which is always a great night at the Village Board, and one where we get a big audience, unlike the usual night. And we also have a work session beginning at 7. So I had a couple of announcements to make. The first, and I think most obvious, is all of us have been following with care and concern the report of a murder here in the village, which took place a couple of weeks ago. Linda Misek Falkoff, a 76-year-old woman who lived at 79 Grandview Avenue, was found dead in her home. As I think most of you are aware, the Pleasantville Police have been working hand in hand with the Westchester County Police to both investigate the site and make sure that all of the evidence has been collected, but also to pursue the investigation overall. I can report that I think they're making some progress on that front, and I wanted to announce what the press has already announced, and that is that NYSCrimeStoppers.org has established a cash reward of up to $2,500 for information that directly leads to the arrest and conviction of the person responsible for this death. So anyone with information that they think might be helpful in that investigation is encouraged to call 1-866-313-TIPS. That's 1-866-313-8477. You can also download a free mobile app from the website, which is nyscrimestoppers.org. Any information, however insignificant, could be helpful to solve the case, and users of the app or callers may choose to remain anonymous if they so wish. So very much encourage anyone who has any kind of information that they think might even be remotely useful to reach out in that way. So we had a joint meeting last week with the Pleasantville School District. Shane, am I right that that meeting is now up online? So you can see that meeting if there are any subjects of interest at pctv76.org. It's an annual joint meeting, and we ranged across a series of issues involving our joint boards. One of them that will be the subject of discussion over the coming months, as each of us are in our budget process, is the effort to expand shared services and also the effort to account for shared services. The accounting piece of it is generated by a new New York State plan that will provide a benefit to residents in the form of a tax rebate check for the difference between your previous year tax and your current year tax in the years 2016 and 17. Have I got that right, Patty?
Yes.
Yeah. So long as all of the relevant districts stay within the 2% tax cap and are able to demonstrate that we have saved 1% of the tax levy through shared services. So I think both boards are unanimous in being interested in shared services. Heaven knows both boards are unanimous in seeking savings wherever we can. I somewhat wonder what the cost in Albany will be to account for all of this and verify that this has all been achieved and then cut a check to every single one of us, but who can complain about getting a check in the mail? So we shall see how that all leads, but at any rate, that will be a subject of ongoing discussion. Steve Lord is our liaison to the school board and will be involved in that process. Similar discussions going on in the town of Mount Pleasant and with the county, as well as any other of our neighbors, to find other shared services. I think a lot of you know that the Mount Pleasant Library is perhaps our longest example and greatest example of a shared service between the village of Pleasantville and the town of Mount Pleasant, an enormously successful thing. Those existing enterprises don't count for this new venture.
No, but I do want to just comment that it's not shared services exclusively where you can save 1%. It's on any operational efficiency,
Oh, really?
yes.
So it's not just shared services?
No, we believe, and we're going to be demonstrating this. I have a meeting Wednesday in White Plains where NICOM is doing a presentation, but the village treasurer and I believe that we've already achieved our 1%.
You go.
Just by
All right.
operational
Sorry, Shane.
efficiencies.
Sorry, Shane, you're
But
out.
it doesn't
You're out.
doesn't mean that we don't want to do 2%, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Right.
But I
Look,
think
obviously, we
that's
all
great
want to save
news.
as much as we
Just so you
possibly
know.
can. I will say that there's a little bit of a paper chase that will be engendered by all of this, but out of that, hopefully, some real benefits.
And basically,
are
this
found.
this is really the executive summary. The law encourages local governments and school districts to generate long-term tax relief for New York State taxpayers by one of three methods: shared services, consolidating or merging, and demonstrating and implementing operational efficiencies. So it's any one of
So
those
it's any one of those three?
measures,
Okay.
or all three, any combination.
All right. So to be continued more on that. Today is the 10th. Tomorrow is the 11th, which is Veterans Day throughout the country. And our American Legion, the Fancher Nickel American Legion Post, has organized, as they do annually, a Veterans Day ceremony that will take place at Memorial Plaza right in front of the bandstand at 11 a.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, November 11. It's at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And I encourage anyone who can attend to do so. There is music and commentary, as well as an opportunity to honor veterans who have served. So that is tomorrow, November 11 at 11 a.m. in Memorial Plaza. We continue to collect coats and clothing on behalf of the Military Order of the Purple Heart.
Bring them tomorrow to Veterans Day.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
idea.
that would be very nice.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a collection box here in the lobby at Village Hall at 80 Wheeler Avenue. So it would be a great day. Thank you for that, Colleen, to think about connecting those two things. Farm Market continues to be successful this year. It's been a great scene down at Memorial Plaza on Saturday mornings. It will continue outdoors until Saturday, November 22. That's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. The weekend after Thanksgiving is an off week as the farm market reorganizes itself for the first indoor farm market back at the middle school, which is December 6th. Then the last thing on my list was I wanted to send everybody's attention to the Pleasantville Community Garden Project. If you head to their website, which is pvillegarden.org, there is a great report and also, I think, a link to a great new video that describes what went on in the first year of this really extraordinarily nice venture. A bunch of volunteers led by Devin Juros and his family built, with the assistance of 100 or more volunteers, a community garden on the side lawn at St. John's Church on Sunnyside Avenue. And the goal of this was to raise produce that would then be donated to local food pantries. And they have been extraordinarily successful. Total poundage of fresh food donated was 615 pounds from the garden. I think that number goes well over 1,000
Yep.
when you include the contributions made by some Pleasantville residents who had a surplus in their garden, as well as stuff that they have started to grow in some of the other gardens at the schools. Just really a great project.
I think
both
the farmer's market.
Yes, I think that's
They-
true.
they
Farm market,
distribute as well.
yeah. So these guys have done not only a great thing philosophically to help others, but have literally planted a great idea in the village of Pleasantville, and they deserve a lot of credit. And it's a really, really enjoyable 3 or 4 minute video. So I encourage you to get to your computers and visit pvillegarden.org. Anybody else have something?
Pat, just a quick question. Only because it's now become near and dear to my heart. Those compact phosphorescent bulbs, we used to have a bin. Do we still have that at the DPW?
We're collecting.
You are?
Yeah.
So if you've got used phosphorescents which don't last anywhere near as long as they say they do if you turn them on and off quite often. 20,000 hours become 2,000 hours.
they
and I
last
get it done
longer if
better
you
with
don't
my
turn them off?
frosted bulbs that you can no longer buy, but such is life. Save myself $10 a bulb. But no, nonetheless, they do have some mercury in them, so they are not
Right.
very pleasant to deal
No,
with.
I
It shouldn't go in the landfill. And we do have,
We do.
we still collect for those, and they're at the DPW?
At Public Works, that's
Perfect,
correct.
okay. So bring your used bulbs there.
There's a special box to put them in,
Yep.
and they get packaged up and sent right out.
Perfect.
All right, anybody else have announcements to make? If there is any comment from the public or any call-in, 769
I'm sorry, it's 1677.
1677.
Typed it wrong.
Did I get that? I think I got it right the first time, just on autopilot, probably.
You did.
We'll touch on a couple of the work session discussions that we're having after our regular meeting, but with that, we'll head to our resolutions. Colleen, 168.
Resolved that pre-check register dated November 10, 2014, covering electronic check numbers 1743 through 1795 and pre-check numbers 79130 through 79226 have been reviewed, and they are hereby approved as listed below, coming from the general fund, the water fund, the refuse fund, the special purpose fund, the trust and agency funds, totaling $165,591.58.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions? Building inspector lease vehicle, continuing that, is it the same vehicle that Mike had?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Mindy?
Resolved that the Board of Trustees has reviewed the minutes of the meeting held on Monday, October 27th, 2014, and they are hereby approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or corrections to the minutes? It's an occasion to remind everyone what we reported on at that meeting 2 weeks ago, and that is that the village recently had a work session discussion with the folks from the Jewish Child Care Association, which owns and operates the Cottage School and the Edenwald School on Broadway near Lake Street, and Brightview Senior Living, which is their proposed operator for a senior living project that they anticipate presenting to the village within the next couple of months for that site. In summary, it was roughly proposed to be about 175 units, which would be divided up between 100 independent living, 50 assisted living, and 25 memory care units to be operated by Brightview. We saw but do not have a copy of their very rough draft site plan. They report that they anticipate coming back to the village within the next couple of months with further detail and a more formal proposal, at which point they would suggest the means by which a zoning change might be sought. So more on that as soon as it comes. Obviously, that will be a subject of great interest to the community, and we will report as soon as we know. All in favor of the minutes, 169?
Aye.
Approved. 170, Jonathan.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby accepts a donation from Karen and John Baylor in the amount of $25.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you to the Bylers and a continuing series of such donations. Very much appreciated. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. The next agenda item 171 was a discussion about the pool concession contract, and I think we discussed the notion of tabling that while we review that further. So let's, do we need to formally table that, or you want to just
You can just
renumber?
pull it.
All right, so we'll pull 171, in which case 172, approval of certiorari settlement, becomes 171. Steve.
Hold on, let me get down there. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village attorney to proceed with the settlement of certiorari petition by Stop and Shop as designated on the official tax map as section 106.10, block 1, lots 47, 54, and 57, as follows. For the year 2010, a refund of $84,489.38. 2011, a refund of $81,243.33. And for 2012, a refund of $82,779.23, for a total of $248,511.94.
Is there a second?
I think you have to read the rest of it, no?
Should I? Oh, yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're right.
And further resolved that the village treasurer is authorized
Yeah,
to
that's
issue
the
I
key
think that's
part,
the
yeah.
important part.
issue the
I was
applicable
hoping we could skip
refunds in the amount of $248,511.94 to the petitioner's attorney upon receipt of an executed order from the court.
Is there a second?
Yeah, that's actually the.
Yeah, that was the important part. I was trying to ignore it.
Second.
The site in question is the former MLA property, which, as many of you know, was purchased well over 12, 13 years ago by the Stop and Shop company, which at one point considered proposing a zoning change to create a grocery store there. They owned that property for a very long time and have blessedly sold it to the folks at Henkel, who are well on their way to moving into it after a substantial renovation. The problem we confront is that MLA, during its tenure there, existed under an industrial development authority deal that fixed their tax payments as a specific number, and therefore the actual assessment of the building didn't matter to them. Correct me if I get astray here. Patty, I'm all right? Okay. I'm reporting history accurately or not?
Well, a
Not
little
really.
Go
bit.
ahead.
Yeah, partially.
Take it over.
Partially there. My understanding is that they made payments in lieu of taxes, but because of that, the assessed value really was not an issue for
but
them, although it escalated.
Those payments were structured as part of the IDA deal.
Yes, that's correct.
So the core issue is that the property was massively overassessed, an assessed value implying that it was worth well over $20 million. That obviously would have been grieved by the average owner who had been paying taxes based on that number, but was not grieved by MLA because it didn't matter to them. When Stop and Shop bought it, they continued to pay taxes based on that assessment, but ultimately grieved it for the years 2010, 11, and 12, producing the proposed agreement that Steve just described in the resolution. You want to add anything to that picture?
Yes, we are going to pay this in 2 installments.
All right, I was just going to ask if that
One
was
in the
still
current fiscal year and one in next fiscal year.
2 equal installments?
Which has been agreed
I
to
think
by
that's,
Stop and
that'll
Shop.
be the
so.
order.
So we knew this was coming. It does not come as a surprise, although obviously one hates to see the day come. Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Is there any new business anyone want to bring up? So we will be adjourning into executive session on matters involving advice of legal counsel on legislative items. But before we do that, I just wanted to report that in a work session earlier, we had a conversation about a proposed new candidate for the Planning Commission, and also spent some time with Jeff Econom, our Superintendent of Public Works, about the purchase of a new street sweeper to replace one that is currently causing us difficulty, and comparing that to a possible outsource deal for street sweeping. I think the sum total of that is that we are inclined to buy the device, but are working on the question of exactly how to do that. We will also be later on discussing a proposal from Vermont Systems for online recreation registration, which would be, I think, a great opportunity for the village. Residents would then be able to sign up for rec programs online, and our rec department would also have much streamlined internal processes for keeping track of who signed up for what and making people aware of programs that were running based on their interests. It would also
Great stuff for the pool.
right,
Yeah.
change the pool.
You wouldn't need to get your pool
registration
membership
and-
every
and,
year, picture and all be taken, so a lot of great stuff.
I think it likely that we will make the decision to invest in that product as well, and that's another subject for our work session tonight. But there a motion to go into executive session on advice of legal counsel?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. Again, we have a work session at 6 p.m. a week from today on long-term goals, and then a regular session in 2 weeks. Thank you and good night.